Hello, my sweet friend. I am Cristina Arevalo, a cake decorator, coach, and teacher, and I am here to empower my fellow cake artists to unleash their creativity and unite as a strong cake community. Whether you are a seasoned professional or just starting out, this podcast is here to support and empower you on your cake decorating journey. Let me coach you for success by setting achievable goals, understanding that managing your time and having a positive mindset, knowing your customers, and learning how to teach your craft are all as important as flour, sugar, and eggs. I'll share what has worked for me from a very personal and relatable perspective. My goal is to help you establish your presence, reduce stress related to time and working hours, and engage in cake collaborations and competitions. Eventually, you could become that featured cake artist in a magazine or teach at international events just like me. Welcome to the Art Cake Coach podcast. Well, hello, my sweet friends, and welcome to another episode of the Art Cake Coach podcast. Christina here. I'm super happy to be here today. It's a sunny day here in Lisbon, Portugal. Autumn or fall is starting to show here. Not as much as in other latitudes, but you can feel it in the air. Like there's something different going on, which I love it. It's my favorite season. A lot is happening. Usually a lot of things happen around this time in my life. I don't know why is the season where things get done. A lot of a lot of things come into place. I really know. I get really focused. There's a lot of creativity for me in this season. I really like it. I don't know if it's because we come from the summer and I just want to keep working. I don't know. But anyway, a big introduction today. Sorry about that, guys. Well, today's episode is about something that we face a lot as cake artists. Is about multitasking. But before we get to why this episode is about multitasking, I'm going to tell you a small story. This episode was not supposed to be about multitasking. Actually, I have my planning, as you know, me, time management, big planner, I have everything organized as much as I can. I still believe that I'm not that organized in my work. But that's me. That's me. It's ridiculous because I I do a lot of things and I multitask a lot. Just to let you know more or less what happens in my life. Not that I'm complaining because everything that I do is because I decided to take it on and I decided to do it. But I have it's not a full-time job, but almost a full-time job because I'm an ESL English teacher and I teach by hours. So my days could be either packed on morning classes or I can have classes throughout the days. My classes will could be between 1 hour and a half, 2 hours long. I work with adults, business, English for adults. So usually it's around lunchtime or at the end of the day. Lately, it's starting to be in mornings and afternoons, which was not the usual. But anyway, so my week is pretty much packed with classes. My job. This is my 9 to 5 job. This is my I call it my hunting gathering. That's where the money comes in from, right? So, in the other hand, I have I'm not doing cakes anymore, as you know, but I have the coaching business where it's just starting. It's moving very slowly, not as fast as I would like to. I'm being very honest with you guys because looking from the outside, you will think, oh, you know a lot of things going on, a lot of success. There is a lot of success, but sometimes not the success that people will think. So anyway, going back to what I do. I have the coaching business that I'm really trying to get it off the ground, like really becoming a full business. But of course, having my other job, sometimes I wonder if I can dedicate the time that it really needs. I feel sometimes like dropping everything that I'm doing and just focusing on the cake business. My coach thinks, I mean, my coach has advised me a lot in this. maybe I should do it, maybe I shouldn't. There's a little bit of fear in there, I have to be honest, of dropping everything, and especially with the economy how it is. So it's like, okay, I'm going to drop the job that is bringing me money in order to start from scratch again, because I've done this several times in my life. Not that I'm scared of starting from scratch. Actually, it is exciting for me, but there's this, I don't know if it's age, I don't know if it's because I've done it before. There's a little bit of fear in there that I'm working on it. So if you're going through this, you're not alone. It happens. We all go through that. In the other hand, of course, there are the groups, the K communities, the social media, K collaborations, K competitions, the podcast, which I love, and I refuse to not do it. Is like sometimes my family, my kid, especially my oldest daughter, she's very practical, so she goes like, "Mom, but why don't you just? It's okay, just 1 week or two without an episode." I was like, "Oh no." How do you how would you say that? So the podcast is truly important for me. I don't want to drop it, and I actually want also for the podcast to become a whole business, a whole identity. I'm considering finding outside help in some things. Yes, I haven't come to that point for different reasons. First, maybe I haven't found the person that I know could help me, even though I search for help for myself. Like I said, I have a coach, and I try to keep my mental health in check as well and take time for myself. And on the other hand, of course, you have, the house, the kids, the family, the husband, the dog, um, and of course on top of that, take care of what we eat, to do some exercise. So there's, I mean, sometimes you can feel like, this is a lot, and I'm sure if I'm sharing this with you guys, is because I'm sure I'm not alone. I'm sure it can resonate with many of you, and I know there are days you're like, why? Why do I do it? It's like, why? There, on the other hand, it's like, okay, I'm going to stop doing it. And you feel that it's like a knot in your stomach, like, no, don't stop doing it, because you know it's going to be good. There's something in the other side. You know it. So that's me. That's what's going on. So of course the multitasking is like a lot, and I'm filled with ideas. Like I'm always thinking about new ideas, new things that we should do. Is like, oh, we should do this, we should do that. All of this story is to tell you that I had this idea of launching for November a teaching course. I've been dragging this teaching course, and if you've listened to these episodes, you've listened to this before. I've been dragging this teaching course for so long. I think it's one of the first courses that I laid out for, I think for my online school. I don't know, even it's been years. It's been like years trying to make it happen, and somehow it never does. So I was trying to launch this for November, but of course there are other things going on in our, in the life of the house, of things to do, things to take care of, paperwork, whatever, that got in the way. Then so my month of October got cut like in half. Besides, there's Cake International, and I haven't told you I haven't told you the story yet, guys, but I finished my Cake International piece very early this year, about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. It's like, okay, it's done. And I put my piece in a cabinet in the bathroom, that it's very dry, so humidity, because it's been raining a lot, so humidity won't damage it. A pipe broke, and yeah, my piece got wet, so I lost it. It's like, no, there's nothing I could save from it. Nothing. So I had to start from scratch 2 weeks ago. But it's done now. I did it. It's done. Actually, I think it looks better than the first one. But anyway, that happens also. So the course got behind. So all of the stories, first of all, to let you know that if you're feeling that you're multitasking, if you're feeling that there's a lot going on, and you're not alone. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like dropping the towel, because I do many times. Lately, not only that, but I started to feel like, you know what? I don't care. You know, when you feel blah, you feel like, bleh, like, I don't care. It's like, let's do this. No, don't feel like it. There's no emotion because it's like I become numb by all of the things going on. And I hate it because I'm not like that. You know me. You know the Christina that is here with you every week, and I'm not like this. And I just hate to feel like that. So this my planning was that today was going to be about teaching. Can you see all of the things that I said just to get to this point? But anyway, it was about teaching, but I decided no, I cannot do anything about teaching. I'm not launching again. I'm not launching the course just yet. However, I'm trying to figure out. I think there are a few points where I have more clarity now that I mean, even in the middle of this confusion, I have more clarity in many other things. But anyway, so it's not going to be about teaching today. I decided to change this episode about multitasking because what happened is I started to search again into my plannings and into my courses, into the things that I do about multitasking because I felt like I cannot do this. Yeah, me, even I teach you this, I help you with this, and sometimes you feel like, what am I doing? So, this using my principles, no, they're not mine, the time management principles that I shared with you before, that I shared with you in the last couple of episodes, and talk and using all the information that I share with you in all the groups and everything. What I did is I decided, okay, I'm going to audit my goals, I'm going to audit my life, and I'm going to audit my business, and I'm going to decide where am I going to focus my energy for the rest of the year on. And I found myself that I was multitasking a lot. And there are some positives and some negatives about multitasking. Um, we used to have this idea that, and I think I shared in the episode before, it's like, she has everything under control. She's like, wow, she's like superwoman because she multitasks, she does everything. But inside, we're feeling like crap. We're feeling like we're just tired. We're running ourselves too thin. And a lot of things come into consequence for that. So, yeah, in one hand, you could be very productive, but in the other hand, it can be really tiring and really damaging for yourself, your business, for your productivity, creativity, for a lot of things. So, what is today about? Today is about multitasking. But before we get into multitasking, I want to share with you something that I read the other day on a course that I was taking. I actually listened to it and then I read it because the course has notes. On actually, it was a very interesting course on creative writing. And the author was talking about art versus product because as an author, you decide, well, what is how am I going to write this book? Of course. So, but immediately I remember our, sorry, I remember our work as cake artists, art versus product. What is it that we do? Is it a product? Is it just art? It's this commercial or is it non-commercial? Am I working on a cake collaboration? Am I working on a project for a client? And somehow I connected this with the idea of multitasking because one of the things that I multitask on are on projects that maybe are art, are not commercial, but that bring me a lot of joy. And I want to include them in my day to day and in my work. So, in this next part, I'm going to first share with you what I think we should do, even before we start planning, related to art versus product, commercial or non commercial, how to deal with those multiple tasks, and the pros and the cons of multitasking. So don't go anywhere because I'll be right back with you. Hey, my sweet friend, if you like this episode and enjoy this podcast, there is only one thing I want from you. Please like, follow, and leave me a started review in any of your favorite podcast platform where you're listening to this podcast now. This way, this program can keep growing. The algorithm will show it to more cake artists who will benefit from it. Download the episode, share it on your social media, and tag me, and I'll gladly tag you and follow you back. I would love to hear what you have to say. You can leave me a voice message on Anchor, Spotify for podcasters, answer the questions and polls on the episode, or leave me a comment on my social media. Even if you don't like what I say, I would love to hear your opinion. And let me invite you to follow me on Instagram as at the Art K Coach or in any of my social media accounts. I'll leave you all the links in the description of this episode. Thank you so much for listening to the Art K Coach podcast. Hello, my sweet friends. I'm back here with you in this first part of this episode about multitasking and about product and commercial or non commercial work. Um, like I mentioned before, our work as cake artists, if you're anything like me, and if you're like me, you're probably my target audience because I talk to the people that I can relate to and people who can relate to me. um, my work, even when I used to make cakes, was divided into clients' work, and then you had, or I had, the magazine features, the magazine tutorials, the cake collaborations, the competitions. Okay, and sometimes we feel like I mean, that those kinds of tasks take a lot of our time, a lot of our creativity, a lot of our concentration. I don't know you, but sometimes I even felt that because of that, I was taking away time and concentration from my clients' projects, which were the ones that bring the money in, but I didn't want to leave the other ones. So I was always in this kind of push and pull feeling that what is it that I do? Is it art? Is it a product? Is it commercial? Is it not commercial? Probably a lot of my guests is going to disagree with me. I don't know why I think of Natalie right now from 13 Rhythms. If you're listening, Natalie, you will be like, you'll probably be knocking my head like, what are you talking about? But anyway, I'm just going to say it the way I think it is. Okay. I think they're equally important. I think if we organize ourselves well and if we don't multitask but dedicate the time to each one of them, we can manage both. I do still see the positive in the collaborations, the features, and of course the competitions. I mean, you could win a gold medal or a diploma or something, or even an award, yes. But not only that, but putting yourself out there and risking and getting out of your comfort zone and doing something more than you usually do to your client. Art, what we do is art, definitely. I would consider taking that into account when pricing. Is not just a product. Could we do both? Could we divide some things into products and art, into commercial and non commercial? I think we could. And why am I talking about this right now related to the multitasking? Because one of the things that I found when I was organizing and when I was auditing my business and my life with the time management is that the time, the effort, the target audience, the outcome, the milestones, I mean, everything that I wanted to take into consideration to organize a project was absolutely different if it was art as is it was just a product. Okay, so you could do both, but just depending on, be honest. That's what I really want to say. Be honest about what you're doing and why are you doing it. A lot of my coaches, when they come and they tell me that they're struggling with time and they're telling me that they're staying until 1 in the morning every day to finish cake collaborations. Okay, that's great that you participate, but why are you participating? What's behind it? What is the purpose? Do you have to do them all? Is it more than you're gaining? Are you gaining more with the cake collaboration than you're losing in your sleep? I mean, there has to be a balance. And with multitasking, and that's where I think I'm a little bit over the place today. But anyway, bear with me. I'm going to get to a point. Um, when you when you think about multitasking, you also have to come to that balance of there has to be a little bit of multitasking in what we do. Why? Because most of our businesses is just us at home or at a cake studio by ourselves, and we take care of everything. True. Reality. Doesn't matter if I tell you find help, outsource, hire people. Not all of us can afford to do that. Cannot afford to pay somebody to admin your business. You cannot afford somebody to come and clean your house. You cannot afford for somebody to for an assistant in your carework. Not everybody can, especially at the beginning when you're starting. So when you're especially when you're starting, and I think that's the worst part because we want to be artists. We want to do, non-commercial things. We want to be creative, but you have to make money. And at the same time, you're figuring it out. You're trying to figure out how am I going to make this money? It's the social media, it's the admin, it's the taxes, it's the kitchen, it's my family, it's everything at the same time. So, of course, I've said it before, multitasking is not the best, yes, but I totally understand that multitasking in this scenario is necessary. So, how do we do it? How can we get to the point that we say, I can make some non commercial work? I can make my art, but I can also keep my business afloat and I can also take care of everything that is in my business. It takes time. It takes time and little steps. And we have to learn those steps and we have to make those steps come as easy as brushing our teeth. It has to be almost automatic. So we can say, okay, now I can move on and start doing more art and start doing more non-commercial and shifting my program into my program no, my my planning into a different target audience, into a different time frame, into a different everything. When you multitask, all of this has to be taken into consideration. Uh, who you're working for, what is the purpose, what is the time that you can allocate to anything that you're doing, to a project that you're doing. What are the things involved? Where are the materials involved? I mean, everything is different when you focus in either art or product, commercial or non-commercial. And if you think otherwise, my friends, if anybody out there is listening and thinking, no, there's no difference. Art, I mean, you can turn a product into art, you can be commercial and non-commercial. So please let me know. Give me your thoughts. Tell me about it. I would love to hear about it. Because I've given it a lot of thoughts about this topic, and this has been my conclusion. My conclusion is you can do both, but you have to be honest to the point that it's a separate thing, with a separate setup, with a different time frame, organization, purpose, everything. So when you plan this or when you multitask with this, you have to take all of this into consideration. Let me give you an example. You're making cookies, like, I don't know, 25 cookies, same design, it's just a product. You're not, the client gave you the picture they want, you're not doing anything creative. That's a product, right? So you can do a streamline of production where you bake, then you cut the pieces the same at the same time, you packed in what, so you can organize your work in blocks of hours, in batching some similar things together. There you go. Okay. So you know that the time that you're going to spend on this is less than if you were going to create a piece for a cake collaboration where the topic is, I don't know, Lord of the Rings. Okay, you have to research what is it that what the image. Then you have to think about your skills. What are the skills? Then maybe you're going to do some try and error. So that try and error is not going to be an hour, it's probably going to be more. You want to try maybe a different technique that is not going to be right at the first time. So it's going to take you more. So the planning of this is very different than the planning of a product that is just like, is everything the same. When you multitask in all of these things, you have to take that into consideration. That's what I thought when I heard this man talking about commercial and non-commercial products versus art. But now that I went all this way around, I hope you get some of this. We cannot keep talking about multitasking without knowing the definition of multitasking. So I searched it online. It says multitasking is the act of performing more than one task simultaneously or switching quickly between different tasks. In theory, it allows someone to manage multiple responsibilities at once, which can seem like an efficient use of time. Can seem. That doesn't mean it is. However, our brains are not naturally wired to focus in more than one complex task at a time. Instead of truly doing multiple things at once, multitasking usually involves task switching, moving back and forth between activities. This can cause cognitive overload, reduces focus, and ultimately slows down productivity or quality. Can you resonate with me with this? I do. I can absolutely resonate with this. And I have the tendency for multitasking. I have to force myself not to multitask. My attention span is very small. So for me, time blocking works. We're going to talk about that in a second. I know there's a time allocated for a task, and until that time is done, I'm not moving from that task. But it's like I have to go against my own nature because my time span is really short. I get really bored. I change tasks because I just get bored. I just get bored. It's like, "Oh, I'll deal with this later," and then I move on. Which comes, I mean, that could bring to be disorganized, to be overwhelmed, to feel that nothing ever gets done. All of that. Been there, done that. So, in short, multitasking can be useful for handling simpler or routine tasks. Remember when we were talking about products? That's it. But it might reduce effectiveness when more focus or creativity is needed. Um, what are the tasks that you could say, okay, I'm going to multitask on this? Or what are the tasks that usually we are faced with as cake artists? Baking, decorating, managing orders, marketing, social media. So, how can we handle all of this simultaneously? There are tips, there are ways to do it, and we're going to talk about this. But before, don't go anywhere because in the next part, we're going to talk about the benefits and the risk. Because, yes, there are some benefits about multitasking and the risk of multitasking. Don't go anywhere. We love Cercino and we love its digital magazine. Cercino's free monthly magazine, We Love Pastry, is a monthly digital magazine bursting with absolutely incredible, easy to follow, and unique cake tutorials created by very talented artists from around the globe. Interesting interviews and blogs. You can also win products worth £50 and much more. You have cake tutorials, product information, cake events, cake collaboration, and you name it. Don't miss the free digital magazine every month by clicking in the link on the description of this episode. Thank you, We Love Pastry, for sponsoring today's episode of the Art Cake Coach podcast. Okay, going back to the benefits and the risk of multitasking. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, you can see that this multitasking thing is really affecting me because I feel like I'm all over the place today. But bear with me. I really think this information is really interesting and important for all of us. So, benefits and risk of multitasking. Some of the benefits: increase productivity, you could say so. You can get multiple things done at once and can seem like a time saver. you know Imagine you have to do, I don't know, 25 little bows for cookies. Okay, you do that, you're multitasking, you're doing the bows. But if you have like bows and flowers with the same color sugar paste, okay, you do both, you're multitasking there, you're doing both, and you can batch all of that together. Great. It looks like you're saving time. You can handle tight deadlines. Okay, last minute work, you have to multitask. Sometimes we can add multitasking to what we do and to our planning if it's necessary, like a last minute thing or a last minute. Actually, right now, when my cake international piece got damaged and I was doing other stuff, but I had to also do the piece. So I kind of had to multitask a little bit. It can build flexibility because it can develop your ability to switch between tasks if needed. So you could say, okay, I can um, let's say not improve, not elaborate. I can grow that ability of switching from one task to the other without losing my focus. Okay, that'll be good. If you have a short focus span like me, it can actually help you to feel less stressed and bored at the work because, like I say, if I spend too much time doing the same thing, I just get really bored and I start hating what I'm doing and I just drop it. So by switching momentary, I mean, I'm not gonna say that I don't do one thing and I do another. It's like, okay, I'm gonna take I don't know, half an hour break of this. I'm gonna work on this other thing, and then I'm gonna come back to this. That will be my multitasking. And you can manage creativity. Sometimes working on various aspects of cake design at once can spark creative ideas. It's true, there's some part of our work that's quite mechanical. For example, when I was making my batter for baking, everything was so mechanical that I sometimes will come up with ideas. So I kept a notebook next to me and I will just write them down, put in there. So you could call that multitasking if you want, but it kind of sparked my creativity. What can be some of the downsides or risks of multitasking? It decreases quality of the work because when focus is split, the risk of mistakes and lower quality work increases. It increases stress and burnout because you're trying to juggle too many things at the same time and you can feel overwhelmed. I didn't write it here, but I just thought of this. One of the things that I absolutely, and I think it's a strong word, but I absolutely can stand, I hate, if you can say that I hate something, I absolutely can stand is interruptions. And when you work at home and nobody in the home has a fixed schedule, because that's the thing. In my house, like both of my kids have different study schedules, right? So they come in and out during the day, different times every day. My husband also works, you could say remote. So he manages his own work. So he could show up at 7 and 9, he could show up at 1 in the afternoon. Doesn't matter. I mean, and then you have um live in Portugal, Portuguese family. They're very, very close. So my mother-in-law tends to show up sometimes, or calls happen in the middle of when I'm doing something. Sometimes it's work related with my teaching job. So I had to drop what I'm doing and go, I don't know, write an email or answer something. And that for me could be a problem, right? That could be a split in focus, and it ends up being multitasking because somebody's calling you to write an email. Okay, I have to stop what I'm doing and write an email. So I really don't like it. I wish it could be different, but not for now. I'm still working from home, so that's what I do. Okay, going back to this, it can increase stress and burnout, loss of efficiency. Some studies actually show that multitasking can actually reduce efficiency. It gives you the illusion of being more efficient, but in the long run, due to constant task switching, you end up being less efficient than you were. And of course, it has a really bad impact on creativity. Um, Let me know if any of this resonate with you. If any of this is like, yeah, I know it's happening. Or if you're very successful, a very successful multitasker, please let us know your secret, because I haven't met one yet that is not feeling burnout or tired or with a lack of creativity. I mean, you can make it happen for a little while, but there's a point that's like, I can't anymore. So what do we do? What do we do with this? It's all about balance. It's all about finding that middle ground that works for you. And it doesn't have to be a cookie cutter. I always say that. So stay with me, because in the next part, I'm going to share with you some ideas on how to find that balance. Hello, my sweet friend. Let me invite you to subscribe to the Art K Coach podcast exclusive content platform. By becoming a member, you'll get exclusive monthly content and access to audio classes and workshops on goal setting, time management, social media posting, pricing mindset, and teaching. Get access to exclusive bonus content for only €2.99 a month. Check out the link to subscription platform on the description of this episode. Let me help you on your cake journey and coach you for success here at the Art K Coach podcast. So, how do we find balance in a world where, like myself, you actually need to multitask, deal with interruptions, do a lot of things at the same time? Because that's I'm not blaming anyone. That's the life I chose to have. um I'm committed, so I'm not going to drop the podcast. I'm not going to drop the groups. Of course, I'm not going to leave my job right away, not in this economy. I dropped other things, but not though but I cannot drop anything else. So how do I find balance if you're anything like me? Okay. This is some of the things that I do and some of the things that I found on information that you could do. Focus in one task at the time. Even though if you have multiple things to do in front of you, allocate a specific amount of time to one thing. And until that time is done, don't change to another thing. This also, you have to figure it out if you're working by result or by time. Let me explain why. I've shared this before here in the podcast. If you're working by result, that means that you won't stop doing something until it's done. Okay? If you have the time, if you can allocate the time for that, awesome. There's some times that we are so in the zone when we're working, we're doing some project that we really love and we're really into it, that we even forget about eating. Okay, that you're in the zone. And if you want to go until you're done, you go until you're done. But know that you're not going to have time to do everything the same time, right? Or at the same day. However, if you work by time, like, okay, I have 2 hours available for creative work. So you work until those 2 hours are up. That's it. Okay. And you focus in one task at the time. Now, what happens if you have to do, let's say, 4 tasks and you have 2 hours? Allocate, let's say, half an hour, 25 minutes to each of the tasks. You only work on that task for those 25 minutes. We shared this here before. It's called the Pomodoro technique, and take breaks between tasks. So it's like you can reset. Okay, you can reset your mind, you can reset your emotions, go for a walk, take a coffee, take the dog, do something totally different, just like a little reset, and then come back to a different task for other 25 minutes. Okay. Prioritize. Of course, we're going to keep talking about prioritizing. There you go. Because if we don't know what's urgent and important to do first, we're going to lose time in little tasks that don't make any difference, that don't do anything. And we're going to keep feeling like I'm in this like treadmill or rat wheel, that I'm not doing anything and nothing gets done. That's what's going to happen. Batch similar task together. I mentioned this here before in the episode. So, like, imagine you're cutting flowers and ribbons and I don't know, little balls of the same sugar paste. So, you need the sugar paste in that color, and you do all of this together. You keep them in an environment that will not get hard or damaged, and you have that done. Okay, you move on to the next task. So you can batch instead of, okay, now I'm gonna cut flowers, half an hour just cutting flowers. Now, oh, I didn't make enough sugar paste pink, or I didn't color enough pink sugar paste. Now I have to color again the sugar paste pink and do the bows. Ah, but the balls were also pink. Now I have to color more sugar paste pink for the balls. See, you're going to take longer. So organize those like, okay, these three are all pink, are all sugar paste. I'm sitting down, I'm doing that in an hour, for example. It really works. For me, it really works. So that will be similar to time blocking. I guess when you say focus on one thing at a time, batch things together, you have to go to time blocking. Time blocking is you have a calendar. I do it every single day with everything that I do. I have my calendar and I block the time for specific task. I know that's what I've been doing at this time. Actually, that helps with my family because I just tell them like this hour not available. I'm going to be either teaching or I'm going to be working on this. And you have to be strong. You have to be very strong and tell them, no, this is my working time. I always, usually in this house, the phrase, the speech goes around. If I were working on an office, if I was out of the house, none of this gets done, right? So imagine I'm in an office, I'm out of the house, I'm not here. So if you want to call the plumber, you call it yourself. Don't ask me to call it. Anyway, just saying, right? You can do that. Incorporate breaks, we talk that in the Pomodoro techniques. Leverage productivity tools, yes. To-do lists, planners, calendars, apps, anything that can help you keep track of the time that you're allocating for things. Okay, I'm a fan, and I have many planners, and I have many agendas, and I have many calendars. So I do use them. Otherwise, this will be a chaos. I do feel by now, but I think it's also, I don't know. I don't know if it's age. I don't know if it's, I don't know, premenopause. I don't know what's going on, but my head, my mind, my brain feels like, I don't know, like smashed potato sometimes, or like smoosh, like what's going on? I don't get the focus that I used to get, and I don't get to keep the record of all the things that I can have to do in my head like I used to. Like right now in this episode, I just, even though I have a script and I'm just all over the place with my notes, but I think it's a lack of concentration, focus somehow for some reason. If that happens, just I went to the doctor, I'm having some vitamins now, but anyway, that could happen, that could be. So I don't know what my life would be without my agendas and my planners. Forget it. Practice some. Okay, even saying the word for me is like, I cannot. I'm sorry. Mindfulness. Okay, why? Because I mean everything is mindfulness right now. And it's kind of funny. I kind of make fun of this. I'm not making fun of people who practice this. The thing is, like, I think everybody now is a mindfulness guru somehow. Okay, what is mindfulness? It's just pay attention to what you're doing, the time that you're doing, and be in the moment. That's it. So if you're working on I don't know, if you're decorating a cake, you're decorating the cake. And if an intrusive thought come of, oh, I have to call my friend and tell her that, remind her that she had, no, it's like you're doing your cake. And if that thought come, because sometimes it happens. For me, it happens all the time. I keep next to me, always next to me, somewhere I can write. So if any thought that comes in that is not related to what I'm doing comes, I just write it down, forget about it. After I'm done, I go to my list and, okay, yes, I have to call the plumber, or I have to buy, bread for the house or whatever it is. That those things that usually come into your mind. Celebrate your wins. That's very important because when we celebrate our achievements, it gives us a sensation of we did it, we accomplished something. And one of the opposite feelings that gives multitask is I'm doing a lot, or I'm very busy, but I'm not doing anything. I'm very busy, but I'm not achieving anything. So anything you finished, you're done, celebrate it somehow. Like take a break, go for a coffee. I don't know, buy yourself something, post it on social media, something that makes you feel like, I did it. For me, it's as simple as highlighting it out of my to-do list. That's like scratch it from my to-do list, or just a check mark next to it. That is like, oh, I did it. I did it. And if I see that my to-do list is packed with scratches and highlightings and stuff, I just clean it. I throw it away and I create a new one, clean and nice and neat, because that gives me an idea of, this is done. It's done. I don't have anything to do with that anymore. And of course, know when to say no. Like I do with my family sometimes, and with projects, with people, with everything. I still have people who call me to make cakes, friends especially, some family members, and there's always that temptation to, but it's just a cake. Come on. You've done it before. You can do it. It's like, why are you gonna say no? And then I look at my calendar and my agenda. I'm like, no, no, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So I just have to say no. I'm so sorry. It's not gonna happen. I don't do cakes anymore. And with that many things, can you just drop this in the dry cleaners? It's just it's on your way. No, it's not. I can't. Not today. Maybe tomorrow, but not today. Today, my time is allocated for this. It's hard. It's not easy. It sounds sometimes, I think sometimes my family hates me for that. But hey, it's a way of, for me, it's a way of educating the people around me and saying, let's just respect each other's boundaries and time. Let's just respect each other's tasks and work. And if you were in a different situation, you wouldn't be asking me this. If I was working outside in let's say in an office or outside of the house. So there are other ways that this could get done without me stopping what I'm doing. So and I think at the end of the day, for my kids anyway, it's also showing them that you are entitled of your time. You are entitled to organize your time and allocate your time to the things that matter to you and they're important and it needs to get done. And it's success for me. That is a way of succeeding, and also creating them very independent. I am very independent, so I try to do that. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but that's what I try to do. Anyway, these are some ways. Let me just recap. Why did I put a T in the end? Recap for you guys. Focus on one task at a time. Prioritize. Batch similar tasks together. Use time blocking. Incorporate breaks. Leverage productivity tools. Mindfulness and focus. Focus on one thing. That's it. Be there at the moment. Celebrate small wins and know when to say no. And with this, my sweet friend, I hope that I'm going to share with you one sentence that I heard today on a podcast. Instead of having fear of doing something, be fearless about it. Ooh, I love that one. So just do it. Don't multitask. And if you need to multitask, do it consciously so you get the best results out of this. Be honest with yourself. Be honest to what this task is all about. Who's your target audience? What is the time that you can allocate to this? How are you going to deal with this? Say no if necessary, and especially, and because that's what I'm here for. Try to implement any of these techniques that can help you be a little bit less overwhelmed and get you to achieve your goals and your task and scratch that out of your to-do list and have that sense of accomplishment, because that at the end of the day is what we all want. So with this, my friends, I hope you liked today's episode. I say goodbye as I always say goodbye. Stay safe and stay creative. I'll see you next time. As your K coach, I am here to help you. If you want to go a little bit further in your journey to organize your time, set clear goals, maybe teach, work on your mindset, or set a roadmap for results, especially for results and success, I am here for you. Why don't you book a free discovery call with me? I will be leaving the links here in this episode so we can chat, we can talk about what you really need, and we can see if we're a good fit for each other. Remember, I have just one mission in this cake world. First is to unite the cake community as one and to make you, my cake artist, my sweet friend, understand the importance of investing in you. Like I said, I will be leaving the links here in the description of this episode so you can book a 30 minutes free discovery call with me. And just remember, in case nobody said this to you today, I do appreciate you and I want you to stay safe and stay creative.